Welcome to the Local Guys Business Show, the show that talks about all things small business. For people who would love to learn tips to make your business more successful or would like to own their own business one day. Sit down with your host, Jared Goulding. Strap in and let's get the show started.
Okay, no worries. Well, thanks guys very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Did you want to start by maybe introducing yourself and what your role is at the Local Guys?
Okay, well, I'm Dan and this is my wife Amy.
Yep.
We own a localised pest control franchise up in Queensland, so in the Gold Coast region,
Yep.
so Upper Coomera.
Yep, beautiful.
That's our area, we love that. And so I'm pretty much doing the technician and sort of the day-to-day with the customers, booking the jobs and seeing them. And then Amy does a lot of the administration, the reminding the customers, taking on leads and following up with customers,
Yep.
everything like that as well.
Yep.
And making sure that I don't miss a beat.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Pretty
So-
much the glue that holds everything together. So
The manager.
Yeah.
And how long's the business been running for now, guys?
So we are just about to come up to our 12 months. So probably about another month away. So about 11 months.
Yep.
We've been up and running for.
Beautiful.
It's going good.
Great.
And it's been a journey as well.
Yeah.
We got married 12 months ago as well.
That's right, because I remember when I met you for the first time when you were over here for training, and you just had everything going on all at once, didn't you? You just got married, new business, new everything.
Yeah, so went to did the training with the actual training organisation.
Yep.
The RTO.
Yep, get licensed.
Then had our wedding, went on a honeymoon, was at home for a night, and then flew down here, and then come and finished off the training, and then the rest is history.
Wow. Do you mind maybe telling me what you guys were doing, each of you were doing before joining Local Guys?
Okay, yeah, well, I was working in medical supplies, I was doing compliance and regulatory affairs.
Oh, okay.
And some clinical consulting, and then I had enough of that, so I went on a big road trip, and then went up north and down over to the Northern Territory, and then came back and was supposed to go to Melbourne for a job. Decided I didn't want to do that rat race again.
Yep.
I like the Gold Coast too much. It was just, and then I met Amy probably 2 weeks after I got back.
Yep.
And then I was just like, I'm staying here. And then went and just got a job with a furniture and electrical supplies company.
Sure.
And had some great people to work for.
Yep.
But then my time was up.
Yep.
And it was time to find something to move on. And I was just like, I didn't want to work for anyone else.
Yep.
I wanted to finish on a high note with who I worked with, and then I wanted to start my own. I've always wanted to start something of my own.
Sure.
My parents have always had their own businesses.
Yep.
And Dad's had his own home service business for 20 odd years.
Oh, okay. What's he doing?
So they do cleaning
and
everything now, but he sold it on to my sister now. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
And, she's running it. She's got over 30 staff and
Oh, wow.
just doing well.
Wow.
So, yeah. But
What about you, Amy?
I was in retail for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to step away from that.
Yeah.
But what I learned from retail has been invaluable. And I spent the last 6.5 years working for Nike. So big business, big teams, and huge turnover. And just at Harbour Town, which was incredible. 20 years of retail, being a manager.
Yep.
So I think that's what is really helping our business grow, that attention to customer service and
Yep.
what we can offer
Yep.
and how you can translate those skills across. So.
Okay, so both working for someone else previously. Dan, you were saying that got family that have been in small business. So was that sounds like it was a bit of the driver for yourself to want to get it. What was the boiling point to sort of jump from working for someone else to working for yourself? Because it's a big change.
Well, I've always wanted to have something that I could call my own.
Yep.
Ours now.
Yeah.
But, it's just, it was something that we could build, that we could create, something that we could be proud of. And it's just, but also seeing our family, like my parents owning their own business and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, you know, my mum and my stepdad had a water sports business, and you know, and that was unreal, and it was just so yeah. And then Dad had his cleaning business, so it was just both of them together was really sort of inspiring, and then just sort of we'll do our own, and eventually we got there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
No, but.
And so why pest control then? Because why wouldn't you go into cleaning, or you know what drove you to pest control?
I don't like cleaning.
Okay. Yep. Fair enough. Yep.
Pretty much, it's like I tried it with Dad, and he said you're really good at it because you're really thorough, but it just wasn't my thing.
Yep.
Like it's
You tried it for a bit and just didn't stick.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. I think you're either that sort of person or you're not. And I think the people that do it love it because they're so passionate about it and they love to see the end results. And then there's other people like me who, you know, and it sounds like you guys as well, or at least you, Daniel, that it's not in the DNA.
Yeah, it wasn't something that, like, I mean, you know, there was thoughts about sort of processing through that sort of side of things, but just I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and look, you know, I enjoy doing the pest control.
Yep.
Like, you know, if the customer has a need and I can fulfill it. Like, you know, I mean, it's just probably like there's cockroach jobs and stuff are probably my favourite because you see when you do your follow up, it's you actually see the results and you've had a good success, so it's a good win. But that was just we looked at a few different options, and that was one of something that we saw that's always going to be a need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't get rid of pests.
No.
It's like, I mean, that's why they actually changed from pest exterminators to pest management technicians, because if you could exterminate pests, there wouldn't be a pest control industry. Like, they would have fixed the issue and stuff like that. So it's all about controlling it and finding out how to manage them as best as possible. So and it was just sort of something that's like, okay, that's always going to be around, so it's going to be a solid feels
industry. Like a safe sort of industry. There's always going to be demand for work and stuff like that, which, you know, you can build a great business off of the back of that, because just say that's a big need that people sort of have. And I know, like, even from us being here in the support centre, you know, we're talking to the people, clients at that initial stage of their inquiry, and out of the 3 divisions that we have, no more do you feel like you're helping people who have got a genuine problem right there, as you sort of said, because it might be wasps, you know, at the kids' party, or cockroaches, or a million different things that going on, and you know, it's like you're coming out they must see that van rocking up and thinking Superman's here, to save the day.
It's like we're getting a lot of, especially through winter time, there's the rodent treatments and stuff like that, because, you know, as it gets colder, they're coming inside more, and so people are hearing them in their roof, and it's just like, I just want a peaceful night's sleep, and it's just like, can you come out and fix it? Sure.
Yeah.
No worries. Oh, okay, cool. All right, sweet. When can you get here? Yeah. All right, sweet. So, so having that feeling, and then it's just like, you know, you get a text message, you know, the next morning, and it's just like, oh, I've had a peaceful night's sleep. Thank you so much. And it's just like, oh,
how good is that?
Good feeling.
It's rewarding.
Like, and for them to actually follow up and tell you, I love that.
Yeah.
So,
you got a customer for life, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
another reason. Sorry.
Yeah.
that
No,
he
please.
Joined pest control was because I kept leaving containers everywhere in our house. So he'd walk, I think the worst, he'd walked in and there was 9 containers because we had so many cockroaches when we first moved in. And he got sick of it. So I think that's what really prompted when we started talking about what kind of service-based industry we'd like to be in as well.
We saw it firsthand, and you saw that there's a demand right there, and if you can see it firsthand, then you go, well, would I be a customer? Then if I would be a customer, it's probably a service that, you know, we could probably offer.
Well, that's it. Yeah, containers all through the house, and then that odour of that cheap can of spray. Yeah, and it lingers. So it's
Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because that was one of the questions that I sort of had for you in regards to the DIY version of pest control versus having a professional in. Do you want to potentially talk to that? If someone's sort of watching and they've thought about doing the DIY stuff themselves, why would they want to get a professional?
Yeah, look, I mean, there is always a place for DIY.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to get away from someone like, previously myself. Like, I always wanted to try and do things myself.
Yeah.
But it's
cheaper, right? So, yeah.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
It adds up.
I mean,
Yeah.
the supplies that you get from some of the
Bunnings
bigger
or whatever.
warehouses,
Yeah.
It's they're not cheap.
Yep.
And then they're just not as effective. Like,
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason why our products are registered only for pest control providers. It's
Yep.
like we've had the appropriate training. We've got all the knowledge and how to actually apply it safely.
Yeah.
Because it's if you do it wrong, you're not wearing your right gear or anything like that, you can put yourself and your family at risk.
Yeah.
You can't just go spray willy-nilly and just expect it's going to work.
Yeah.
And we guarantee our work. So if there's issues and stuff like that, you come back, you let us know. We'll come back out. We'll fix the issue.
Yeah.
So
That gives people a lot of peace of mind.
yeah. It's the peace of mind. So. Yeah,
And it doesn't fix it at the root either. You're talking about pest management.
Yeah.
Quite often, if you have that and you do DIY and you spray a bunch of stuff from Bunnings or whatever, then it might not necessarily fix it at its root. Like there might be an ongoing issue,
Just masks it.
Yeah.
Like, especially with things like ants or even cockroaches. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of people just spray what they see.
Yeah.
And it's just the next day they're back.
Yeah.
And they do it again, and it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, because the root cause is not on over there, and then also at the same time you're spraying your food bench top. Like that's not safe. You're just putting chemicals all over your bench.
Yeah.
And then so it's like you want to find the root source,
Yep.
like the source of the issue. You want to eliminate it at the source and actually sort of gain that control back.
Yeah.
So you're not constantly doing that, putting everyone at risk, having all those fumes going over through your house. You want to minimise that chemical presence.
Sure.
So it's do it once, do it right.
Yeah.
So
Looking after pets and things like that.
yeah, exactly.
Young
And I mean,
kids.
everything we do use it's just is approved by the ABPMA.
Yeah.
So it is safe to use around, in your family, around your pets and your
Yep.
kids and everything. Obviously, not whilst we're treating. It's once it's dry, once the treatment's no longer active in the air, then it's safe around your family. So
Yep.
that's probably the big thing, especially with a lot of young families up on the Gold Coast now.
Yep.
It's their biggest primary concern is what about my kids and my pets.
Yeah.
So
And I know you guys leave after service information as well for
Yes.
all of our customers, so that they know what to expect after their service. And with pests, you need to know that because it's an active insect, and they need to know what's going to happen after the fact.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got all our aftermarket material that we will provide to them. We also we've got emails where we will send to them, so they've got it at a glance as well.
Yeah,
so,
perfect.
All goes through there, but we have to do all our required reporting because we are dealing with pesticides. We have to report what we've used, how we've used it, where we've used it,
Yep.
everything like that. So we do have those records there as well, and we forward them on to the customer so they know what's been done. That's going to be what we've done and any recommendations as well. So what you can actually do to minimise the activity
Yep.
in your home. So
Okay.
it's not going to eliminate them completely, but
Yep.
that's what they're there for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously you had mum and dad that had the cleaning business and the other businesses as well. But did you have any other, or either of you have any sort of business experience before taking on this venture personally?
Well, I did because I worked fairly close with them.
Yep,
so,
sure.
like, I mean, it was with Mum's business. I did a lot of the side of the administration side of things.
Okay.
So, like your bookkeeping and all that side. And then with Dad, he showed me how to sort of like get on the get your feet moving, get out there. And,
Yep.
The door knocking, the flyer drops,
Yep.
and everything like that. Getting out in the community,
Yeah.
is a big thing. So I learned a lot from that, and then like the sales experience I got from my jobs.
Yep,
So
sure.
that really worked, and
Yep.
then it's learned a lot from them, and then also now from our family. So
Yep.
so like Myra, she's looking after the cleaning business now, and then Rowan, he actually has a lot of he's got his own company in medical supplies. He's doing quite well.
Yep.
And he's always got a lot of useful information.
Yep.
And then you
Cool.
know, yeah, and I get a lot from my family, and then my old boss, as I said, that was some of the best people to work for.
Yep.
And they've always, the Matt and Louise are both always there.
Yep, leveraging off your network and stuff like that.
100%,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. So what when you were sort of doing your due diligence on joining the local guys, did you was there a reason why you did you look to start up your own pest control business at all, or was it always going to be a franchise? Or always?
We did have a look at both options.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah.
We want to start our own family.
Yep.
And we thought, we're looking at the statistical risks of starting your own business versus being a part of a franchise.
Yep.
And,
it's like 80% fail in the first year or first couple of years or something like that. So, yeah.
And I can understand why. Starting your own business is not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah.
It's, get prepared for late nights, get prepared for the stress.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you've got to still make time for yourself somehow.
Yeah.
You have to do that, because otherwise you will go crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just...
And steep learning curve in that first 12 months, especially. Now you guys are kind of old hands at it, but especially in those first 3 to 6 months, it's like...
You're just running a rat race, and I think just
scary, isn't it? Yeah,
coming back together and focusing on what's important and finding those moments to have some downtime, because then when you do step out to serve that customer, you are on the phone with people, they can hear that in your voice as well. If you're stressing or you're constantly on a high, they can feel that, like customers can. So going in with that really like calm mindset each day, I think has really contributed to our success, and especially the way that Dan can serve customers without feeling really like overwhelmed. I think that's contributed to some great moments.
Your confidence definitely grows over time. And then everything just becomes natural. And it's just so I mean, the job itself, you've done your training, you know what to do. It's the confidence behind it. And we definitely found that, and it's made a huge difference. And that's where being part of the franchise is definitely been an asset for us as well. That's we do have the support like from our divisional Sean and yourself, and the support centre. Like, I mean, it's just really they're the glue that holds everything together. So it's, you got to rely on them for everything, and they're there for you. So.
I think, like, I was thinking about it on the drive on the way in, and it's quite interesting because it's kind of like, I feel like business is a team sport, and everyone just sort of has to play. Everyone plays their roles, and and everyone gets in there, and it's that 1 + 1 = 3 sort of scenario, and we all work well together, then it gets a really good result out the back end. And I think that would be, I know, like, from having an independent business myself in the test and tag side of things, it's really hard. It's really hard because, I didn't, like, for years I went on not knowing some simple stuff, and I was like, as if I didn't know that, like, but it was like 5-6 years into the game, but there was no one there to leverage off to ask those sorts of questions. So I think, as you say, sort of having Sean and Renee there as like almost like a built-in sort of coach there and support, and they're further down the pathway, so they can kind of see, they can see the trail of where you guys are on. You might not be able to see it, but they can see it, but sort of, and then you get to the other side of that. It's like, okay, you can breathe a little deeper now, and it's a good thing to have, and just the technical side or business side. There's the two elements, but And then it's just like, am I doing well, or am I not? It's like, what can I do better? And it's just like, you're actually doing good. It's like, okay, cool. No, it's it's like I'm still not sure. So it's just like, look, here, these are your results. It's just like, a lot of businesses run it off of. A lot of businesses will run it off of. Let me look at the bank account, and that'll determine whether I'm doing well or not. No. And especially for brand new businesses and stuff, you've got outgoings and you've got all this other sort of stuff. So I think like that's, I guess, one of the benefits that we have with scorecards that's been introduced, and you can break down all of the different elements of your business, and it just becomes a math equation basically. And then it's like, okay, cool, we've got this funnel that we've got to fill, and we just put them at the top of the funnel, and then we've just got to make sure our conversion rate's right, and we've got making enough per job, and then all of a sudden this end result looks fantastic, and it's just But just running that purely off the bank account, it's
It just drives you crazy.
yeah.
It can because the thing is, it's just like you may not see the bank account growing because you keep reinvesting.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's I want to do more. So it's just like, so we've done more training this year.
Do you want to talk about why you had down here in Adelaide and talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, we got into so we've taken the next step. So rather than just doing your general pest, we're going into termites as well.
Okay, so can you explain to me how it sort of works? Like basically, originally, like to get a pest control license, it's just the general pest that's which does everything but termites. That's right?
Yeah. So your timber pests.
Okay.
So
that's the only ones you basically can't do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once you get in your general pests, look, I mean, every state's going to have different conditions.
Yeah, of course.
But generally, in a nutshell,
Yeah.
is your general pests.
Yeah.
And then you got your timber pests.
Yeah.
And
So
stuff like
what sort of pests do you do? Can you do as general pests? What's all the different sort of services that you offer under that?
So we do just about everything. So we'll do all your crawling insects.
Yep.
So your spiders, earwigs, millipedes, ants, cockroaches. Then also you've got your vermin. So your rodents, possums, all those ones that'll just keep you up at night.
Yep.
They're those guys.
Yep.
Then so you've got your bird prevention, those type of things as well, and then.
And then where we are now, where you've just finishing up your training, spend some time with Sean, and now you're going to have the next element of the business, which is the termites, which is a whole other beast in itself, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's a much bigger sort of step. Like, I mean, this is the one where people's homes are not covered. There's no insurance for termites.
Yeah.
We are the insurance for
Yeah.
termites. It's like, if you own your own home, it's get termite control, get your inspections done, get your termite barriers, get your baiting stations, everything like that. It's so much more worth spending that little bit at the start and maintaining it versus all of a sudden you've got your walls coming down and no one's there to pay for it except for you out of your own bank account. So it's like, have that protection in place. Like,
that's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people don't know that about the insurance side of things, that it doesn't cover.
No, some don't, and it's just. But it's the same with like general pest and timber pests. It's like prevention is always going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Than resolving an issue.
Yeah.
So
because by that time, half your house is eaten away.
Half your house is eaten away, or it's like So that's with the termites, and then even just generals. It's just like your cockroaches and stuff like that. If you leave them too long.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's just you open up a cupboard and there they are.
Yeah.
Same with the termites. It's just like you go to open up a door and all of a sudden the door's just falling apart on you, and it's just like, oh well, if I kept getting my inspections done, doing it regularly, that would have been picked up before it got into the house.
What's the for general pests? What's the spider? Because I know for us we had a big spider problem, and I did the DIY thing. Spent a bunch of money at Bunnings and still ran into the same problem, probably the same as a lot of people. And then ended up getting I didn't want to bother the guys, but got our guys out to do it. And I hadn't, it was incredible, legitimately incredible. We didn't see anything for a year. What's the frequency that you'd recommend on getting a general sort of treatment done? Is that an annual thing or?
Look, it's, I think as our climate has changed with honestly with global warming and everything like that. The Australian conditions has changed. Weather is becoming more sporadic. So it used to be 12 months. But we recommend every 12. If you don't want to see pests every 6 months. But if some people still do it annually. And it's just going to come down to preference. But we will still regularly touch base with the customer. So they don't have to remember to do it. We'll touch base with them. We'll be like, hey, look, how is everything going? Do you want to look at a mid-year treatment, or do you want to wait until you start seeing them, or we'll just follow up again at the end of the year? And so we give them that option. So we're not going to force it on them, but it's like we're there for them.
It's just that point of contact, isn't it? It's just that touch point that just reminds them, hey, we're still here if you need us. And as we've said before, you're providing a service that people want. I know with my stuff as well, I get that text message or phone call on an annual, and it's like, do you want to do it again? Yeah, absolutely I do. We've had a winter now, stuff's been washed off and all the rest of it. Let's refresh it for another year. So and that makes complete sense.
And then it's just sometimes you can have those harsh weather conditions, like our Christmas up at home, with the horrific storms we had, and there's probably a tornado, yeah. And then we actually probably had our wettest summer we've had in a long time. So, and they are contributing factors to pests. So that hot, humid conditions with the wet weather, that was really conducive conditions for pests.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more activity.
Yep.
And even though people's homes were protected, they were finding their way through because there was nowhere else to go. Like,
Just stirred them all up. Yeah.
I mean, trees coming down, like, I mean, all that subsoil and everything like that's just churned up. So a lot more activities come out.
Yep.
All those ant nests and everything have been disturbed. So they need to go find a new home.
Yep.
And the first dry home they find is yours. So they're coming inside.
Yeah. So back to the termites. What was the main motivation for yourselves to then do that further education and take on the termites? Because it's a bigger job value, right?
Bigger job value.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's you're going to have your return of investment in that.
Yep.
But we just wanted to be that complete service.
Yeah, sure. Because I'm sure you would have had clients sort of, as you're naturally talking to them, doing the general pests and all the rest of it, sort of saying, hey, can you do the termite sort of things? And if you can't, I guess leaving money on the table.
9 times out of 10, you do get that question of
really
the termite
really
as well.
Yeah.
So like Dan said, being able to offer that complete package and it's just another tool, another tool on your belt. And to be able to help people on the Gold Coast as well.
Definitely.
That's what we're there for.
You're serving the community, aren't you? And going from a couple of $100 job value to now we're talking a couple of $1,000 job value.
Yes.
It makes sense from return on investment wise, as you sort of say. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's there's definitely perks to it. Look, I love learning. Strangely enough, but it's like I love that progressive step. So I don't like to stand still. So it's like I like to keep doing more and more. So I mean, we've got some really sort of long-term goals with the local guys. And developing ourselves. We're not in this to be millionaires, but we're not in it to be broke either.
No.
So it's like we are definitely going to keep pushing. To a point, like, I mean, it's like, I've got my goals, it's like I want my home, I want my caravan, I want my really nice ute. It's, and my boat. It's look, I'm a simple guy, but I'm still driven. And
and then freedom, a little bit of freedom as well, or choice, I think, is one of the big things that sort of I find for myself, and I miss about being, I'm chained to a desk now, but for many years I was on the road, and you get a lot of freedom in that regard. Where I think if you're working in an office and stuff like that, you don't necessarily get that side of things. So you have to go out and work hard, and it might mean weekends or I mean, you guys decide whether you want to do that. I know for Sean, for example, just wouldn't do weekends at all, just because that was his time but in the early years he was. So well,
so while you're establishing yourself, we will push as hard as we can.
Well, you've got goals, as you said.
We've got goals. I mean, we're trying to start a family as well. So we've got to make sure that we've got the financial capacity to do that as well. So work hard now. And it's like, once we work as hard as we can now, it's just like we'll reap the rewards for that later down the track. So we can enjoy those weekends off. I can come home and pick up my future kids from school, and be there for all those important things. And that was probably one of the core values with the local guys as well, which is we really stood out compared to some of the larger guys, where it's just those core values just didn't really. You didn't see them; they didn't exist. It's just like whereas here, like that was what stood out to me. I mean,
that's what really stood out.
Oh, good.
We've got the CEO and our divisional are related. Like, I mean, it's just like, how often do you see that? And that's just so. And then everyone's built in with the family, like, and then it's just like other franchise partners, the family as well. So it's that made a very impacting decision. Like, was a very impacting decision factor for us.
I think genuinely that's like one of the things that I absolutely love the most about this business is that exact point there. Like,
so never lose it, because it's one of the biggest core reasons for us being with it. With you guys and stuff like that. And yeah, we appreciate it. It's not just a sign on the wall, like it actually is true.
It's not just a corporation, and and I think that human and family element to it, and that's why we would say everyone in the local guys and all our franchise partners are a part of our family, and our staff here are part of our family. And I think it's whether you speak to the staff or franchise partners, it's not a corporate vibe, and we love that. So I love the fact that that triggers something for yourselves as well, because that's what we pride ourselves on, and it's it's great. It's great.
Even just that community aspect as well, like what the work you guys do with World Vision.
Yep.
Donating to that's something that was really important to us, that there was a business that was giving back.
Yep.
So those kind of things, and it's something that we're really passionate about.
Great.
From a Gold, working the Gold Coast and Upper Coomera perspective, is being able to give back and support our local community as well. So, just another really great value as to why we chose the local guys.
You know what I love about it as well is it's actually like kind of a pretty cool test to the sort of like people that we want to join the local guys, because I've had like conversations with people in the past and they just go, I don't want to have to donate to that, that's not a problem. I go, well, we're probably not the right fit for you. And genuinely we tend to get a lot better quality franchise partners, because the sort of the people that want to join and go, yeah, of course I want to do it, be a part of that.
Oh, yeah.
They tend to be a lot better franchise partners. I don't know, it's some sort of thing on there, I guess, if you're I don't know. And look, if people don't want to give to stuff, and they shouldn't have to be saying, well, I don't have to, I shouldn't have to, but it's just what we stand for, and it's great to be, involved with other people that have the same values, I guess. Yeah. All right, so I want to talk about marketing a little bit. Amy, now I'm talking to you about when I'm talking about marketing. Is that'd be the fair guess? Okay.
Look, bit of both.
Bit of both.
We brainstorm.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so I know that I follow your guys' social media, and I always really enjoy it. It's one of my favourite ones out there. I follow basically all of the guys' social media pages, and I'm not constantly liking it. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about what sort of marketing stuff that you guys have done and enjoy doing and seems to work well and gets good return on investment and stuff like that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I guess from a social media perspective, that is our sort of bread and butter of being able to reach our community, and having friends and family sharing that at first has really helped, and I think it's just being relatable to people. So with a lot of the content that we do get from head office, which has been amazing, it's a really great starting point, and it just gets better and better week on week. So thanks, Sam.
I know you just had a session with Sam before as well, and good on you for using the opportunity while you're down here to hit that up.
Well, again, it's just being consistent across the board. Like if we're using the same content, it just really helps drive home that same message. And being relatable to people from a social media perspective. When you're flicking through and you've been looking at pest control, if we're consistently popping up and it's something that you find funny or relatable, or it kind of speaks to you and you're like, oh, I want to go with those guys. And even like some of our stuff might be a little bit silly, but you relate to it. It's fun.
And I think that's what people are on social media for. They don't want anything too serious or whatever. But
then on the flip side of that, educating customers as well. Tips and tricks on how to protect your home, how to work alongside your local pest technician, which is hopefully going to be us. Just really making sure that it speaks to the customer, making sure that we're I guess aligned to you guys.
So we're building the brand as well as ourselves. It's because it's just rising tide floats all boats.
Absolutely.
It's definitely got to work together with everyone. And if we do well, and then we collaborate with, Amy collaborates with Sam a lot. Building all of that. It definitely creates that sort of unified sort of system there. And, there's obviously a lot more that we want to do on social media. And then we've got our also the local marketing, just getting on the foot and trot.
And
then
and what does that look like?
letter drops
Yep.
at the moment.
Yep.
So been doing a lot of those and just getting
Getting
into
your steps
our
in.
community. Honestly, but you have those really great conversations with customers at their letterboxes.
Yep.
You'd be surprised how many people actually are just standing outside their house when you're going to do these things. Like the last one I did, I think I had like 5 or 6 conversations with customers, and they were, you just, hey, from the local guys,
Yeah.
we're in your area,
Yeah.
you know, local to you guys, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And just have a really great chat with them, and then talking about the fact that, yeah, we've got termites coming up, and just building that like one-on-one connection with
Yeah.
them, which I guess is what I'm used to doing from retail,
Yeah.
and just, you know, sparking conversation with a random person.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a really good way to get into the community,
Yep.
and, you know, shopping at our local centres, and we're standing in line and people are asking us for cards because we're, you know, in our uniforms.
Yeah.
And just having some really great conversations with people. Like, I think that's been working well for us.
Yeah, wow.
And then on the flip side of that, after Dan, you know, has done an incredible job, following up and checking in with people, and then getting those reviews as well.
Yep.
Because having that for us, or for any business, is what's going to help that momentum as
Definitely,
well.
yeah.
And that really honest feedback,
Yep.
regardless of what it is, we encourage that.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's just, most people have sort of gone, hey, like, we checked out your reviews, they look amazing,
Yeah.
we'd love to book with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's a testament to that service.
Yeah.
And just from, you know, start to finish, from the call centre right the way through to Dan completing the job, and then that follow-up.
Yep. Yep.
If you do all those steps right, you've got a customer for life, really.
Yeah, because I know your guys' reviews are incredible. It's I see every review and I look at them, every single one, and it's constantly another one for Upper Coomera, another one for Upper Coomera. So that's incredible from your guys' perspective. And you're right.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
It's like when
well, it's validating
when
that you're
see
doing.
them,
You are
yeah.
serving the community. Yeah,
And like, I mean, we are, like, you know, I mean, as owner operators, we need to do a good job.
yep,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're not like part of a big corporation where it's just like, oh, well, I'm as long as I get through my route,
yeah,
I get paid.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, it's
We
just,
care.
if
Yeah.
we do a good job,
Yeah.
they'll come back.
Yeah.
If we just get through our route and we haven't done a good job,
yep.
we don't get that route again.
Yeah.
So it's like, do it right, do
Yeah.
it well, because that's our livelihood.
I think my uncle worked for one of the larger pest control companies here in Adelaide, and he was an employee, and it was just very much, you know, he was an employee, so it was, you know, X amount per hour, and that was it. So, you know, they were trying to squeeze in as many jobs as possible to him in a day to try and get as much value out of him on a particular day. And, you know, although they're his customers, they're not really his customers, where it's a completely different model for yourselves. You know, obviously 100% of the money goes to yourselves. They're genuinely your customers. That's an asset that you're building, and you could sell one day and, you know, grow it into this big thing and sell an asset, and that bumps up your super or does whatever. Or it just keeps expanding your business and more referrals, and the business gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that it's, from a customer service perspective, it's been proven, like franchising versus employee-run businesses are like this. The worlds apart as far as service and contentment of the client. So it just, that speaks wholly and solely exactly about what you're sort of saying. So
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No worries at all. So tell me a little bit about commercial versus residential. Have you? What does a typical client look like on both side of things? So I guess, like, if you're looking at residential, it's just homeowners, renters.
Yeah, homeowners, renters. So generally just your typical, you know, family sort of home and everything like that.
Yep.
And
then commercial. What sort of clients, what sort of sites are you typically mostly doing?
so we do a few restaurants,
Yep.
cafes and takeaway stores, you know, especially because they've got to get their council
Yep.
approvals. And
Mostly food related?
Mostly food related.
Sure. Yeah. Which makes sense, right? Because I'm an ex-Pest Boost Juice franchise partner, and I know for us, pest control was critical, because you get that one incident with one person with the phone or one whatever, and you've lost your business.
Oh,
So it is crucially important to have a great relationship with the pest controller. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that's definitely right, and it's
Yep.
just like have a good relationship with them, and it's just so yeah, we work a lot with them, and we try and give as much advice as we can.
Yep.
So it's not all about pest control these days isn't all about just spraying and praying.
Yep.
It's like we had a meme there. It's just like one does not simply spray for pests because it's not true.
Yep.
You can't. There is a whole management system that you need to do.
Yep.
If your area is not clean, you're creating a food source. So explaining that, educating the customer
Yep.
in a commercial workspace as well.
Yeah.
And then it's you provide it to their team, and then their team understands. It's just like, okay, there is an importance to this. Like
Yep.
it's not just the boss isn't just being hard on us.
Yep.
It's there is a reason why we need to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's just if we don't do this, if pests are in here and we're not making sure it's done right, we get shut down.
Yeah.
And it's just like so.
I guess that would make you a lot stickier as a client. It would make you very sticky as a part of the team because you're essentially almost a part of that food business's team. Like if you're providing education and you're providing obviously the sprays and all this, the bait stations and all the rest of it as well. That you're a trusted partner in the team of being successful food operators, where if you were just someone that just comes out and just goes, chuck out a bunch of stuff, which I've had happen in the past and had to have Sean come in and actually do a proper program on there, that would create a very sticky customer who's going to look after you a long time because there's that trust element now, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I mean, we actually noticed it was, we'd go into some businesses when they first inquired, and it's just like, have you had a pest control before? And it's just like, oh yeah, and I'm just like, where's the service register? Like, did you have one to make sure that you kept up to date with everything? And they're just like, what are you talking about? And it's just like, okay, well, I mean, we provide that, so it's like we've got a service report, so how regularly we came, but then also there's a sighting report. So if you guys see activity, you let us know as well.
Yeah.
So that way we know that where we need to target things to make sure we best service you.
Sure.
So it becomes a team effort.
Yeah.
Like it's to, if there is something there, we can fix it because you've told us. So we're working together as a team. So it's vital in that regard. Like, I mean, we still do the same with residents. They keep us up to date. So we always, maintaining communication with them. So that way we make sure we're on top of it. But as it's essential in those workspaces. So, we want to make sure we give them every available opportunity to make sure that they're able to keep their restaurant open or their takeaway store open or, not have to deal with those type of things. So,
sure. And how's things looking on the money side of things? I'm not going to ask what sort of money you're doing specifically, but like say from a return on investment perspective or a satisfaction perspective, has it sort of has it met expectations or exceeded expectations?
Yeah, no, it's good. Like we're happy with it.
Yeah.
It's like
because it's supporting both. Sorry, what was that?
First 12 months is always
Yeah. It's always going to be hard that first 12 months. Yes.
We talk about that J curve on the way in, don't we? Yeah. And it's not until you experience it. It's
Be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, and that's probably if you're going to get into it, whether it's small business or franchise or any type of new venture that you're going to start, be prepared for that J curve.
Yeah.
And and I understand why a lot of people fail in that first 2 years. You've got to push through it.
Yeah.
You've got to have the skin to get through it. So
for those people that don't know what the J curve is, what is the J curve?
So it's so when you get into the business, you are going to dip. So the start of the business is going to sort of go like this. And initially at the start, you're going to be building your customer base. So your work's not going to be there straight away.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of investment. You've got a lot of overheads.
Yeah.
Especially when you start, you've got insurances. You've got
just brought this franchise that cost a lot of money, and
just getting
vehicle
your
maybe.
Setup. So
you
you got your setup. So it's just like you have this large investment at the start. So it does dip you down, and you want to try and sort of eventually work your way up. And as the more you work, the more you grow. You're going to start coming out in this end, and then eventually it might take you 2 years. Before you get there, but once you get to that spot and you go there again. Boom.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys got through that quite quickly, which was good. I mean, considering as well, you're in a seasonal sort of business.
Yeah. We got through got through
Especially there's two of you working in the business full time, so it doesn't just have to support one person. Now we're going deeper into this J curve because we've got two people that have to eat, and you know what I mean. And we don't have a second income coming from somewhere else that can maybe supplement it.
No, that's right. And it's just like, you know, I mean, through winter time, you know, we do quieten down and everything like that, and it's just like, you know, we're experiencing that and realizing it's like it's a little bit of a challenge at the start. So we know that next year we're going to be much more prepared for that. You know, and then we might go have a summer holiday somewhere, like, you know, that'll be the goal. So, you know, you got to set yourself those goals, have those small achievements that, you know. So that's probably our goal there, to be able to have a nice little summer holiday next time it comes around.
I think the key for winter and getting through it next time, start earlier. So really start investing in your commercial clients, your follow-ups, everything like that before you hit this period, so that you've got those all lined up, ready to go. We sort of partially did that, so that's been a learning experience for us. But if you put in those hard yards, you know, the few months before winter and have that all set up, ready to go, we would probably have a bit of a cruisier. Not cruisier, but
you're prepared for it. You're set up for it. You know the winter's coming, and you're exactly. I was just thinking about that exactly as well.
No, we had a lot of development this year, and you know, going through that winter, that Christmas period where, you know, we had the tree fall on the house, and you know, having the ute stuck.
That's right.
You know, we couldn't get out, so it couldn't work. So
there's plenty of other things you could do.
you feel those type of things, and it's so it's like so we definitely got, you know, had a lot of hurdles to jump over, but you know, we did. And you know, we're doing well. We're happy for it, and
beautiful.
You know, even through our training, it took us. It takes some time. Like, I mean, it's it's not for everyone. You know, and trying to do that whilst working and everything like that, you find a way, you make it happen. Really. That's what I say. Just make it happen. You know, and we did, and you know, we'll keep making it happen.
What does a typical day look like now for yourself?
Well, you know, it's up early. You know, I mean, not. Winter I've slacked off a little bit, but you know, I mean, it's usually we're up about 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
So it's you know, so we both try to get out to the gym when we can. You know, if so it's not every day. Sometimes you do slip up. But, you know, we'll keep trying. But we're out there, and then Amy's running sort of like straight in, make sure the marketing and everything like that's on top of that, all of that. And then you know, I'm loading up the truck, making sure everything's all good, ready to go, and then I'm out on the road. I'll do, you know, it's maybe four or five jobs a day. You know,
that seems like the sweet spot for you.
Seems like the sweet spot. Like, I mean, it's you know, eventually we'll grow our local customer base a lot more. And then your travel time will start to reduce, and then that way you can start you know, to narrow your sort of.
You can squeeze in that extra job, the extra 2 jobs or whatever. Absolutely.
But we'll still look after our current customers where they are now too, because it's you know, everyone they help us build. Help us grow, so and we will look after everyone. It's just
about planning your days as well.
That's the thing, right?
With your travel time and where you're going, just planning your routes, and you know, when you can fit people in.
So eventually, or has you had the thought about staff member or anything like that?
That is the goal.
That is the goal?
So if...
Because that seems like the next obvious, you know, maybe we get our feet wet a little bit more with the termites, but then after that seems like the next sort of obvious thing. It's about finding the right person, obviously, but... We have spoken about that too. Like, you know, we want to actually give, you know, when we do it, we want to give a young person a good go. So someone who's out, you know, wanting to just getting out into the workforce, you know, wants to work hard, wants moldable.
To get not just their pest license, but their car license and everything like that as well. It's just like, well, look, we'll give you plenty of hours on the road to get your learners. You know, we'll give you, you know, we'll work with you to get you on a good traineeship to try and get your pest license, and then build up that way, and then you know, turn you into someone that's, you know, capable of doing this on your own. And it's just like, well, here's the keys. And what an opportunity for them, you know. Away you go. So it's you know, we want to build up that loyalty. You know, we want to, we want a loyal team, so
Yep.
we want to be able to show that we can give to them as much as they want to give to us.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
definitely build them up that way. That's
Okay.
that's definitely something that we've thought about doing, and then
And there's so many people, young people on the Gold Coast that would just love that kind of opportunity.
Yeah,
and that
bet.
we've
I
had
bet.
mentors in our, working life as well that
Yep.
have shown you, I guess, the right way to do things,
Yep.
and that customer service, and starting them from scratch and showing them, hey, this is how we operate in our brand.
Yep.
Is really key.
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely. I think you get a young 21-year-old, whatever the number is, and it's a huge opportunity for them because they learn about business, they learn about customer service, they learn all the technical skills and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Exactly
hugely, a great learning opportunity for someone like that might be newly out of school and
Yeah.
what's their other thing? It might be working McDonald's or whatever. To have an opportunity like this would be massive. So I think I love where you guys' heads up. All right. Well, I think we're nearly fun. I could seriously sit here talking all day. I'm like really enjoying it. So, final question. What's your favourite thing? I might ask one other question. If you're going to give advice to, we're just talking about someone potentially younger or whatever, giving advice to someone who's newer and just looking at coming in, and you guys are down the pathway now, what would be some of the advice that you'd potentially give to one of the new guys that would come on, and something, wisdom that you could pass on to them? What would be that sort of advice?
set your goals.
Yep.
Definitely, that's probably one of the good things. Definitely set your goals. Have a preparation plan. Give yourself a good plan.
Yep.
The goals. Have a good plan. Just talk to as many people as you can.
Yep.
Talk to the other franchisees.
Yep.
Get their
Network.
Get their input.
Yep.
And see, because everyone's path's going to be different.
Yep.
So it's like, make sure you get everyone's input, and it's just like, have you got that footing to launch?
Yep.
And it's and be ready, because it's not going to be easy if you think this is it. Like, get rich quick schemes do not exist.
No.
You got to work hard.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's get plenty of sleep before you start.
Yep.
It's not, but it will get there.
Yep.
As you said, get past that, Jacob.
Yeah.
But, be prepared. As really you can do it, and just make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be in the mindset.
Yeah. I think it's like 90% mindset, isn't it? It really is. Yeah. The technical stuff and all the rest of it's important, but it's 90% mindset. What about yourself, Amy?
Yeah, I think use the team. Like, when you're part of the franchise, you are one team. So even though it's your own separate business,
leverage off
use
of
the
it.
tools.
Yeah.
Leverage on your team.
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
Yeah.
Just support one another, because there is so much you can get out of that. And I think just if it is your first time owning a business, really like holding that true to, hey, this is my business.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen. What do we want to be known for? What's our brand as well?
Yeah,
what is
absolutely.
your personal brand and you want to be known for? And just sticking to that and staying true to who you are and who you want to be.
Yep.
And I think that mindset really just continues on with that.
Yep. I know we were talking just before when we came on, and we were talking about different books and audio books and stuff like that, and we listened to quite a lot of the same sort of ones. So I couldn't agree more. I think that everything we sort of do in business is 90% mindset, and if you can get that dialed in, all the rest seems to really take care of itself. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for agreeing to spend some time with us, and I hope the rest of the time down here in Adelaide is great. I know the McLaren Vale was hit up, and
awesome.
one or two bevies was taken. So
was bought.
So thanks once again, guys. Much appreciated. I really appreciate it.